Are you about to book a car on Turo? If you are, do not, and I repeat, do not fall for these scams when it comes to a host and what their expectation is of you as a guest. I compiled the top 5 based on my experience as a host and seeing what others have done to guests. So let's get into it. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. So today I wanted to take an opportunity because I have been seeing a lot going on as far as guests and things that have happened to them from a host. And I'm talking about different things that are basically scams. So I wanted to get on here and talk to you about the top 5 things that I have witnessed that I don't want you to become a victim of when it comes to booking a car on Turo, and be wary of these particular things. Now, I'm not saying that every host is going to do this to you, but I have seen it happen before. So it is very important to be aware of these things when you book a car, so this way if it ever comes up in your situation, in your trip, then you are more aware and know how to handle the situation. So number 5, I'd say probably the lowest on the list, would be a misrepresentation of the vehicle. So when you were looking at the photos when you first booked the car and you decided to book this particular car, now you're seeing it in person and there are a lot of things that are different from what you have seen before. This can be things like the car is not running right, or there are a lot of scratches and dents, or it doesn't smell good in the car. So be wary of those things when you get into the car, and don't find yourself backed into a corner and unable to do anything other than take this particular car. I have seen so many situations where a guest will take a car, it breaks down, and they have to get a tow, and their trip is just an absolute nightmare. If it were me and I were in a car that was misrepresented and I'm kind of scared to get into it and I'm worried about how this is going to affect my trip, I would rather take an Uber to my destination than panic, get into this car because I think I have no other option, and then find myself stranded somewhere, or find myself being unable to even enjoy this car or get in the car even because something's wrong with it, doesn't smell good, something that misrepresents the car entirely. Now, number 4 on the list, I would say, would be expectations around mileage and refueling the car. There are cars on Turo that do have mileage limits, and I've covered that before in previous videos. So that's something that you want to look for when it comes to mileage and what the expectations are of the car that you're booking. So make sure that you're paying attention to that. There are hosts out there that are saying things like, "Don't take my car outside of the state." If you read Turo's terms of service, it states vehicles are allowed to drive anywhere within the United States. Now, that doesn't mean that you are going to be within your mileage limits if you decide to take the car out of the state, but those are some options to weigh when it comes to looking at the listing and finding out if the host is telling you, "Don't take the vehicle," like in our case, don't take the vehicle outside of the state of Florida, there's something wrong there. And all of the things that I'm telling you here are not things that I am creating based off of opinion. This is directly on Turo's terms of service. So I will be happy to link any of these if you have questions about it, so this way you can be well informed when you are about to book a vehicle. So the second part of that number 4 on the list was refueling, and I'm going to tie it into number 3. It is very important for you to understand where your car is at when you first pick it up in terms of its fuel level. So if it's full on gas and you don't have to put any gas in it when you first get into the car, document that. If the car is at 3/4 of a tank, document that. No matter where the fuel level is on the car, make sure that you are documenting it and know where you're at. So this way, if a host were to come after you for refueling the vehicle and said, "I had to put X amount in there," you have enough information to keep yourself covered. So this way you are able to dispute a potentially exaggerated charge for refueling. Now, I said it was going to be tied into number 3. Number 3 is going to be, when I talked about documentation of the fuel, I'm talking about trip photos. Please, 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 when you are picking up these cars, don't feel like you're rushed. Don't feel like you need to leave. Make sure you are taking every single picture of the car that you can possibly find. Get every dent, every ding, every curb rashed wheel, every scratch in the interior, anything that you can find. Make sure that you are taking the time to take photos. When I say that you need to take a picture of everything, I'm not saying it's going to take you 30 minutes to take pictures of a car, but I am saying spend 5 to 10 minutes doing a walk around of the vehicle, going inside the car and looking at the seats and looking at the panels and documenting everything that you can possibly find, because you never know what one thing you did not take a picture of, and the host may come to you and say, hey, you scratched X, when in fact they didn't. Now I'm just gonna tell you, my practice as a host, I take anywhere between 45 and 50 photos of every single one of my cars. That's more than Turo even recommends. But the reason that I do that is because I want the guest to see. I have fully walked around all of my vehicles, I've taken pictures of all of them, and I know exactly what they look like when they are handed off to a guest. So this way, when it is returned to me, if there is a ding somewhere on the rear bumper that wasn't there before, I'm aware of it. I know exactly what it is. And I know enough of my cars inside and out for me to be able to say, I know that was there when the rental started. And again, as I mentioned before, make sure you're getting the fuel and make sure you're also getting the mileage. This way, the mileage is documented in your trip photos. This is what the car started at when I left. So in the end of the day, you may have 10 to 15 photos that you've taken of the car when you first picked it up, and you have the mileage, the fuel level, and any dents and dings that you see on the car. You don't need to be standing outside taking a wide shot of the vehicle. There's really no reason for that. Make sure that you're just paying attention to the details. Number 2 on the list, I would say, would be fees at delivery. And what do I mean by that? There are a lot of times that a host is going to have a guest pay for parking fees, especially at the airport, when they pick up the car. Maybe you're not paying delivery, and the host is going to tell you as a guest, you are responsible to pay the parking fee when you go to pick up the car. Make sure you're looking for that, because there are hosts out there, and that is allowed on Turo's terms of service as long as it is disclosed to the guest. So if you have not been told about a parking fee, then you need to go in and dispute that. Make sure you're talking to Turo support, or make sure you're messaging the host and letting them know that you didn't see in the description, you did not see in the messaging anywhere that there was going to be a fee to get a vehicle out, if that was the case for you. If it was disclosed, then you need to be aware of it. You need to know that you're going to have to pay that when you go to leave with the vehicle. So don't get cheated out of a parking fee if you have not been told about it. You have to be told that there is going to be a cost to take the vehicle out of the parking lot if there is an actual cost involved. And the host didn't include some kind of prepaid debit card or cash or something to cover that fee. The number one thing that I have encountered as a host that I hear guests talk about all the time is expectations around cleanliness. Now, I pulled up Turo's terms of service regarding cleanliness, so this way you are informed of what their words are verbatim, in case a host ever is to tell you any different expectations other than what's on here. So let's look at this real quick. It says, you aren't expected to clean or disinfect the car before returning it to your host. That said, if you are to return the car in a condition that only could have been caused by irresponsible or abusive behavior, your host can report the issue. Our support team will review the evidence. If it clearly shows an eligible cleaning issue, we will charge you a cleaning violation fee of $150 plus 3% processing fee. A host can report and charge a violation fee for the following eligible cleaning issues: bio-waste or bodily fluids, spills or waste that requires cleaning inside of vents or between door panel and window, major stains or residue that covers a large area of the vehicle's interior and would require steam cleaning or a full detail, an extreme amount of caked on mud, dirt, sand, or insects that requires professional level exterior detailing, or significant amounts of pet hair. Now, I'm also going to read the exceptions that are on here. A host can't report or charge a violation fee, I repeat, can't, for the following ineligible cleaning issues: small interior messes of items that can be thrown away, wiped up, or vacuumed. Example, food wrappers, beverage bottles, dirt, sand, or crumbs. Exterior dirt, mud, or sand that can be removed by a car wash, water stains, minor food or beverage spills, or sticky substances on the vehicle's interior or exterior, or unpleasant odors. There's a lot to unpack there, but what I would say is don't fall for an expectation that you have to vacuum a car, that you have to clean everything, that you have to make the car look the same way it was when you picked it up. That is absolutely not an expectation that you should be meeting when it comes to being a guest on Turo. You are supposed to pick up this car, you're supposed to enjoy it, be reasonable, because it is our personal cars in a lot of cases. So if you can make a car look nice, that's great for us. That makes us happy. It helps us to make things great for the next renter, but it's not necessary. So treat it how you will in terms of what you would do on your own cars. And at the end of the day, return the car. I have so many guests that message me and they say, do I need to go to the car wash and vacuum the car? I was burned before. And nothing makes me angrier, in my personal opinion, because I tell them, please bring the car back in whatever condition. Be reasonable with it, but return the car in whatever condition. We live 30 minutes away from a beach. There is no reason why I should be angry about a guest bringing a car back that is full of sand. We live in Florida, so I know what to expect when these cars come back, especially when I'm looking at them and I know that they were at the beach. So I don't worry about it. But of course, there are situations when we do have to charge cleaning fees, when our guests do abuse vehicles, unfortunately, and those are a case-by-case basis. If you're watching this video, you don't really have any intentions, I hope, of messing up our vehicles or treating them poorly. So I hope that clears things up. If you have rented before on Turo and you had that expectation set to you, I wanted to be clear about what the actual expectation from Turo is when it comes to all of these things. But that cleanliness aspect is probably one of the #1 questions I get from the guests about, do I need to go to the car wash and vacuum the car? If I've been on a vacation before and I rented a car from Hertz or Enterprise or any of these other places, I have never, ever gone to a car wash and vacuumed their car out before returning it. So if that's the expectation for these big rental car companies, that is the expectation for you as a guest. Now that is going to do it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this content, please give it a big thumbs up and consider subscribing if you like this kind of content. If you want to learn more about Turo, if you want me to cover something in particular, leave a comment down below and let us know. If you have a comment about this video, leave a comment down below as well. We'd love to hear from you. We love to hear feedback, and we want to give you content to keep you the best informed when you are looking to book a car on Turo. If you are in the Jacksonville area and you are looking to book a car, visit AchooRentals.com. We have everything from small compact cars to, I'm looking at that beautiful minivan that's outside waiting for a detail, so we're gonna go do that next. And know that if you book a car with Atchoo Rentals, you will never, ever end up in any one of those 5 situations. Have a great day, everybody.